Welcome to Wager Talk TV. I am Kelly Stewart, joined by Adam Trigger and Dave Cokin of WagerTalk.com. Sticking with the ACC theme here, we've got North Carolina traveling just 12 miles down the road to face their in-state basketball rival, the Duke Blue Devils. Duke off an ugly loss to Georgia Tech. North Carolina able to get that win over Miami. Dave Cokin, talk me off a ledge here. The current line is 7, total 66.5. I am this close to putting the Duke Blue Devils into my money line parlay for this week. I think 7 is one of those trappy type numbers. North Carolina, albeit good on offense, not so good on defense. And so my question is, can Duke run with this team? I don't know if they're going to be able to, but I definitely have them on my long list, if you will.
I tend to look at these games as matchups where if I can find the team who wants it more, I'll go that way. I'm not going to penalize Duke for losing to Georgia Tech, because the Yellow Jackets have actually played 2 really good games in a row since Jeff Collins got pink slipped. Everybody knew that was going to happen, and once it finally did happen, they've played better football since then. UNC, I mean, if it was basketball, then there wouldn't be an edge. But in football, I can't find anything that really gets me thinking that North Carolina is particularly excited about this. I think it's a bigger game for Duke. They're at home. UNC continues to be pretty much the same thing. They can move the ball. They got to score their points, but they can't stop anybody. It's, Mac Brown is playing out the string. He's not going to be coaching there next year. I don't know if Chiswick is a cinch to get the head coaching job, because the unit he coaches isn't exactly been sensational. I think it's a battle. Give me a touchdown with Duke.
All right, that makes me a little happy. I don't know if they're going to get the outright win, but not to say much about Duke's defense, but I would argue to say that they are better than North Carolina's, Adam, and maybe a little situational spot. North Carolina off that nice win, just have to beat Duke, and then they're headed into their bye week. Maybe they're looking ahead here?
Yeah, I like Duke here, Cal. We'll start with something Dave kind of already brought up. I think Duke is going to be more interested in this game than North Carolina. Upperclassmen at Duke have been owned by North Carolina since they've been there. North Carolina has won 3 straight and covered in all of them, which is not what the historic series has been, because the favorite in this series, if you go back 20 games, has only covered the spread 6 times, and a few of those are recent. And a few of those are North Carolina blowing out Duke, which makes me think that there's going to be a little of revenge here for the Duke side in a game that's on their campus at Wallace Wade Stadium. So they have North Carolina making the trip. And it's not as big of a basketball rivalry as basketball, obviously, but I still think it's something that the Duke kids are going to care about, the students, the players. So that puts me on Duke. The other thing that puts me on Duke here is I am happy to take points against North Carolina's defense. I've done it a couple times this year. Most recently, I cashed a best bet with Georgia State, getting roughly the same number. And I'd be willing to go to battle with Duke here against a team in North Carolina that gave up 538 yards last week. They're averaging giving up 32 points per game, 466 yards per game. So I think Duke is going to be able to move the ball. And that's going to be enough for me to take a touchdown with Duke. Like as Dave said, I don't think the loss to Georgia Tech is that terrible. They were only a small favorite in that game. Like the bounce back spot. Still think North Carolina, they're going to be a play against for me probably all season, or at least until further notice. And they come off of a win against Miami that was a little bit of a fraudulent win. They got fortunate to get stops in the red zone when they needed them. So yeah, give me the points here. I like Duke, and would not be surprised if the Duke Blue Devils won this game.
Ooh, you guys were supposed to talk me off the ugly dog here, but it sounds like I'm going to get to the window with Duke. Thank you to Dave. Thank you to Adam. Head over to our Wager Talk YouTube channel. We've got tons of game videos up. And then after that, don't see what you like, head over to wagertalk.com. Purchase one of our great handicappers packages.